what goes into the decision to cancel school?
Well, an interesting, funny with that statement is just not too long ago, I was, you get really close with all the other superintendents in the region and the state, and I had a superintendent tell me, he said, geez, I just had a parent tell me that they're going to send me the bill for their child getting stuck in the snow because I didn't cancel school. And then about an hour later, I was talking to another student or superintendent, and he says, yeah, I just had a parent say they're going to send me a bill for childcare because I canceled school. Two exact opposites, right? And, with those kinds of decisions, and I think there's more and more decisions like this where, there's going to be some people happy, some people not happy and angry. And I think we're in a day and age where people have more of abilities to express their thoughts on that, certainly through social media. So that's a little bit tricky. But when we do, nowadays technology has allowed us to anticipate when we're going to have some weather issues. And I'm thankful that we have a strong relationship with the National Weather Service. And they started a process a few years ago where they will have webinars with all school leaders, colleges, large organizations to give very specific updates, more than what you would hear or see on the local news stations. So I will, what generally starts all of it is I'll start participating in those webinars where they'll be able to tell us with what level of certainty and timing different weather patterns will come through our region. And so it will start with that when we have a high probability that there will be something. I always like to try and call things the night before if that's possible. Sometimes that's not possible, actually, probably more often than not, that's not possible. And when those mornings come, it will typically start with a webinar that will happen at 3 to 4 in the morning because the National Weather Service, they're 24/7. So they will provide an update to see if any changes has occurred with any weather patterns. The night before, my phone will blow up with correspondence with all of our area superintendents around central Minnesota, kind of getting an idea of what they're hearing and seeing and thinking. We'll have conversations with our transportation department and line up to have 2 to 3 people out driving our roads in our city and townships to get an idea of where things are at. So when that morning starts, it generally starts with the alarm going off at 3:30 in the morning. You try and get your cup of coffee before you're starting with lots of texts and phone calls and webinars and those kinds of things. And then we try and make a call by a certain point. And sometimes you feel good about your call, and honestly, there's been some times that I'm like, geez, I think I got that one wrong, and you really judge yourself on how you thought you did. But the tricky thing is with Princeton Public Schools we're proud to be able to serve 12 townships as well as the city of Princeton. And what many people may not know or realize is that we have more of our students that live out in our townships than actually in the city. And every township has different variables that they're dealing with, different kinds of roads, different landscapes, and different resources and abilities to plow the roads. So that's something we're just ongoing, trying to find ways to improve. It's really tough when we have to call off school when I'm confident that 90% of the school district is pretty good and we get our students in, but 10% isn't. So we're actually reviewing, what are some options that we could possibly have school, but just not be able to go down certain roads if they're not safe to send buses down. And our buses aren't meant to go out. There's no 4-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. And I think we've all driven through storms and white knuckled it, and we all realize how stressful that is. And then if you put yourself in the shoes and be a little bit empathetic of our bus drivers who are driving this huge bus that doesn't have four-wheel drive and has the lives of all of these students in their hands as they're driving down these treacherous roads, these country roads. I have such high respect for them. And that's why it just breaks my heart when I hear, people being critical of bus drivers, because, I'm just so thankful for everything that they do for our community and our students, because without them, we won't be able to get our kids to school. And it's a hard job.
Absolutely. I remember when I was in elementary school, before, gosh, do I even dare say internet? Well, we'd have to watch the news scrolling to see if school is canceled or delayed. And Kim and I grew up on a dirt road. And I remember, it would not get plowed for days. And there'd be 2 feet and the drifts across. And sometimes our bus would be at the end of the road. And we'd be standing at the end of the driveway. And we would look and it would be like, come on, like walk down the road a half a mile through the snow and to get on that bus. Because there's no way they were getting through on that. And, we're only, 5 miles out, 3 miles out of town. So I think that is tricky, and people don't understand that, when they're in a situation where, maybe in the city or they're on a plowed road, like, why is school canceled? It's, everybody doesn't have the same situation. So it's tricky. And those bus drivers, like you said, that is such an important job, and kudos to them.
I'm thankful we have invested in some new technology in our parents and families. We'll start rolling this out. We're piloting some new programs right now. It's called TransFinder. We had to put the whole backbone in for us to have at the bus company and the school district, and now we'll be rolling out an app where families will be able to see real time where the bus is at any given time, and we should be able to have some push pin alerts out to families on specific routes and roads if we're not able to get down those certain roads. So there's some other capabilities that we will be piloting to see if we can implement. Our hope is to do that as soon as possible and hopefully roll out next fall. But I guess the thought is if you can order takeout or to order delivery and see where your pizza's at and en route to your home for delivery, why can't we do the same thing for our buses? And that technology is being implemented. We need to be really thoughtful to make sure that that's implemented the correct way. So we have some of our team members piloting that right now to work out all the bugs so that we can implement that hopefully next fall.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, super helpful too. Like for the days that it is like a winter storm, or just you just want to know where your kid's at, or where even
It's
if
taking a while.
for sports or just after school, just knowing where your kid might be on the bus and when they should arrive. Or that's awesome.